audience looks at these feisty characters you're doing, or bubbly characters. I don't even know what bubbly means.
Yeah.
So I was doing a lot of rom-coms, so I was bubbly. But I've always been a certain person. I'm nothing like my characters. Because I did some small town roles, and then people came up to me and said, "Oh, you speak English? You know how to speak English?" I was like, "That's bizarre. How would you assume that I don't speak English?" They're like, "But pictures mein to."
Radio Nasha. Hi, Pari हूँ मैं on Radio Nasha, and in my radio career I've met so many people, but this is one interview that I've always looked forward to because I knew when I meet her it'll be Pari meeting Pari.
Yeah, I wanted to say Pari हूँ मैं, not you.
ये OG Pari यही है actually. But Parineeti, what a pleasure to be sitting.
Thank you.
in
You're
front
so
of you.
sweet. Yours is
No, because I have always admired you. Right from Lady vs. Ricky Behel.
Oh,
तब
thank
से
you.
and बीच में ऐसा एक phase था when people would tell me you know what, you actually look a bit like Parineeti.
Do
and
you
I was like okay, that's I think a great compliment.
DNA test? Okay.
But congratulations on Mission Raniganj.
Thank you.
एक बहुत ही छोटा सा teaser हमने देखा है. We obviously know what happened back then coalfields में, but I'd really want you to talk a bit about your character. How is this film really important and special for you?
So I play a very small but very significant part in the film, and I did this film just because I wanted to be a part of this film. It didn't matter to me. The story is, of course, of Gil Saab, but a very interesting thing had happened in his life when he went through this whole rescue mission, and he was saving these people who were 350 feet underground. It was his wife who made him do it. Any other wife would have said, "Listen, can you just avoid it? Somebody else will do it." But she really made him do it, and that really struck with me. The strength of a woman, the power of a wife, everything. So just to play, Nirdosh Gill, I just wanted to do it, and I didn't even think about what the role was, how long my screen time is. Nothing mattered to me. I just wanted to do it.
बट मुझे ऐसा लगता है आपका जनरल अप्रोच भी अभी तक यही रहा है टू चूज स्क्रिप्ट्स और टू चूज स्टोरीज जिसमें आपका स्क्रीन टाइम कितना है वो मैटर नहीं करता, बट व्हाट द स्टोरी इज सेइंग एंड इफ यू रियली बिलीव इन इट.
Absolutely. My debut film had 4 girls in it, and I was like 1/5 of the pie. I've just felt like it's not about films, it's just about life. You must do what you want to do, what makes you happy, and the moment you think too much about life, you usually make the wrong decisions. And sometimes you make the wrong decisions, but because you wanted to do it, it will always be yours, So, I mean, not to be too philosophical, but I just feel like I just want to do films, and I just want to do the parts that I like, and I just want to do the films and roles that I like, and not think beyond that.
Beginning में when आपकी बहुत सारी ऐसी फिल्में थी, there were certain terms used, bubbly, cute, and generally ऐसा होता था कि एक फीमेल एक्टर को आप बबली और क्यूट के बॉक्स में टाइपकास्ट कर दो. हैव यू कॉन्शियसली ट्राइड टू कम आउट ऑफ दैट बॉक्स? नहीं.
No, not at all. Look, I am a certain person, and people who are around me know the person that I am. Now, there are many things that can happen. The audience looks at these feisty characters you're doing, or bubbly characters. I don't even know what bubbly means.
Yeah.
These feisty characters or funny characters, or I was doing a lot of rom-coms, so I was bubbly. Then I wanted to do different kinds of films. I started doing them, and they said, "Oh, now you are serious." But I've always been a certain person. I'm nothing like my characters. I like to make everybody laugh always, and I try to be full of energy, but that's where it stops. So now I don't even worry about what people say or not, because I just feel like they are limited by what they see on screen. They have 1/10 of the picture. Now it's fine.
हाँ, ऐसा होता है कैरेक्टर का जो पर्सोना होता है वो जनरली लोग सोचते हैं एक्टर का पर्सोना भी वही है.
Yeah, it's crazy because I did some small town roles, and then people came up to me and said, "Oh, you speak English? You know how to speak English?" I was like, "That's bizarre. How would you assume that I don't speak English?" They're like, "But pictures mein to." I said, "My lord, I can't explain this. I can't get into it."
Okay, so ये जो फिल्म है मिशन रानीगंज, obviously it's based on a true story, but what is it about? You obviously spoke about your character that but what is it about the writing? Because मेरे हिसाब से writing is the hero, story is the hero.
Of
What
course.
is it about the writing that really fascinated you?
You know, he's kept it very real. In fact, our first narration was just a story narration. And when I read the final script also, I found it similar to that. So the writing is very real and very casual. You will not find it to be extremely, you will not find it to be unrelatable at all. So that's what I really liked.
You know, Pari, I've always looked up to you.
Thank you, Pari.
But you know, जनरली ऐसा होता है, लाइक मेरे साथ ऐसा था कि सोसाइटी हमें ऐसे कंडीशन करती है कि आपको इस एज तक ना ये अचीव करना है और इस एज तक ना ये अचीव करना है. सो ऐसा कभी आपके साथ रहा है कि यार बाय द टाइम आई एम 25 दिस इज व्हाट आई वांट टू अचीव, बाय द टाइम आई एम 30 मुझे ये अचीव करना है? कभी रहा है?
That would be so foolish to do. Not at all. First of all, where do you know how much of a life you have and what's going to happen in your future? I could make plans till 72, but who knows what's going to happen? So not at all. Look, I feel like you should just meditate, be relaxed in life and live a good life. Not worry so much, not overthink so much, not make everything your own drama when drama doesn't exist. So yes, you can be ambitious. Am I ambitious? Absolutely. I'm going to be like, oh, you know, I hope in the next couple of years I'm able to do this. But not not under society pressure, not under the pressure of irrational rules. Never. But always to live my own life my own way, at my own timing, at my own deadlines, and definitely never for society.
You obviously put in a lot for each of the films and each of the characters, but जब कोई पर्टिकुलर फिल्म यू नो आप जितना एक्सपेक्ट करते हो उतनी नहीं चलती है, आप कैसे डील करते हो उससे? परी,
there's nothing to deal. There's a 50-50 probability of that happening with every film. And if it is rejected by the audience, that is as real as it being accepted by the audience. When it's accepted, you feel happy, all your work has come through. When it's not rejected, you think about it, you analyze it, but you keep moving. So it's I don't know how to explain it. It's not something that can deter you from moving. It cannot it cannot paralyze you. You are making it for the audience. The audience is going to either reject it or accept it. You have to accept both fates.
ऐसी कोई फिल्म है आपकी जो आपको लगता है थोड़ा उसको और प्यार मिलना चाहिए था? Deserved?
नहीं, you know, every film को अपना life मिल ही जाता है somehow. I feel somewhere or the other the audience finds it. I feel no film goes unnoticed, whether good or bad. So there are some films that will not do well on the box office, but for years people will watch it and it will become a cult film. You know, there are so many examples like that. And there are some films who do really well because they came at a right time, but they were probably not the best piece of cinema. So ऐसे तो बहुत होती हैं यार. Like I feel like मेरी प्यारी बिंदु came with Bahubali and it never got love, but that's the one that I get most love for today. And you know, that's what matters. Andaz Apna Apna is like that, not my film. Andaz Apna Apna is like that. I think there are many films like this that don't make the numbers at that time because release also is a big business and a gamble at that time. But they always find, you know, we have TV, we have OTT platforms, we have so many routes of watching a film now.
Yeah, मैं बात करने वाली थी about this film. It's one of my favorites.
मेरी प्यारी बिंदु.
Yeah, मतलब बहुत underrated सी film है.
Not underrated, in fact. Just because the box office numbers are low. It's not underrated.
Yeah.
It's being watched and loved by the people who are watching it.
Yeah, but I really hope that Mission Raniganj, you know, does great because
Thank you.
It is a great story. एक तो survival thrillers मुझे बहुत ज़्यादा पसंद है. You know, it keeps you on the edge of your seat.
Thank you.
One last question that I have for you, Pari. We at Radio Nasha we play the best of retro songs, and I know you are a huge retro music fan.
Yes, of course.
एक कोई ऐसा particular गाना है from the 60s, 70s, 80s that is always dear to you?
Abhi Na Jao Chhodkar, one of my all-time favorites. All Mukesh songs, all Mukeshi, like Chandan Sa Badan, Chand Si Mehbooba, Jeena Ya Mana. These are my father's favorites. So they've become our favorites because we've been listening to them all our lives. Mera Saya Saath Hoga. There are just so many. Now this will become a 3-hour list. You don't have that time.
But thank you so much, Pari, for talking to me.
Thank you.
I manifested this Pari meeting Pari, और वो हो गया.
Manifest more things.
All the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Radio Nasha.